Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm excited to kick off our presentation on the QA Review Batch Release System. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. In this session, we'll explore how our batch release process ensures quality and efficiency. We'll cover the key steps involved, the importance of QA reviews, and how this system helps maintain high standards. Let's get started. Welcome to the next part of our discussion. Let's talk about what a batch release system really is. Essentially, batch release is the formal approval process where our quality assurance team reviews a product batch before it can be distributed or sold. This step is crucial because it confirms that the batch has been manufactured, tested, and packed in accordance with our approved specifications and good manufacturing practices, or GMP. Quality assurance review is a critical activity in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It ensures that every product that reaches the market is safe, effective, and of high quality. The main objective here is to make sure that only products that meet all compliance and safety standards are released. So, in essence, the batch release process is our final check to uphold the integrity and safety of the products we provide to consumers. Let's talk about the regulatory expectations that are essential for batch release. First, an independent QA review must be conducted to ensure objectivity and thoroughness. This is a critical step before any batch is released. Next, we need complete batch documentation, which provides a comprehensive record of all manufacturing and testing activities. Investigating any deviations that occur during production is also vital to ensure that quality issues are identified and addressed promptly. Additionally, compliance with approved specifications must be verified to confirm that the product meets the required quality standards. Finally, the final authorized release approval is the last checkpoint. No batch should be released without QA's formal authorization. A key principle here is straightforward but fundamental. No batch should be released without QA authorization. This acts as a safeguard to maintain product quality and regulatory compliance. Now, when it comes to regulatory requirements for batch release, there are several major guidelines to keep in mind. These include the WHO GMP guidelines, which set international standards, the US FDA 21 CFR Parts 210 and 211, which govern manufacturing and quality control in the United States, the EU GMP guidelines, which are applicable across European countries, Schedule M in India, and ICH Q7 and Q10 guidelines, which provide harmonized standards for active pharmaceutical ingredients and quality systems. Understanding and adhering to these guidelines helps us ensure that our batch release processes are compliant globally, supporting our overall commitment to quality and patient safety. Now, let's take a closer look at the responsibilities of the QA team during batch release. First, a key aspect is reviewing manufacturing records. This means we carefully check all the documentation to ensure everything was done according to our procedures. Next, we verify analytical test results to confirm that the product meets the specified quality standards. Assessing deviations and CAPA is also critical. We need to identify any deviations that occurred during manufacturing and verify that appropriate corrective and preventive actions have been taken. Ensuring GMP compliance is fundamental to maintain the integrity of the manufacturing process and meet regulatory requirements. We also review environmental monitoring data to ensure the manufacturing environment stays within acceptable limits, reducing contamination risks. Additionally, verifying cleaning and line clearance records is essential to confirm that equipment is properly cleaned and prepared for the next batch. Finally, based on all this information, we make the decision to approve or reject a product batch. The ultimate goal here is to ensure that every product released is safe, effective, and of the highest quality. This ties directly into our overall objective: to guarantee that our products meet the necessary standards for quality, safety, identity, strength, purity, and efficacy. Everything we do in QA supports delivering reliable, trustworthy medicines to our patients. Let's take a closer look at the departments involved in the QA batch release process. First, we have production, which is responsible for manufacturing the product according to specified procedures. Next, quality control, or QC, plays a vital role by testing and inspecting samples to ensure they meet quality standards. Then, we have quality assurance, or QA, which oversees the entire process, making sure everything complies with regulatory and internal requirements. The warehouse is also involved, handling the storage and documentation of the batches. Now, focusing on the QA batch release process itself, it follows a clear step-by-step approach. First, the completion of manufacturing activities signifies that production has finished, and the batch is ready for inspection. Then, QC conducts testing, and if the results are satisfactory, grants approval to proceed. Following this, all batch documents are compiled to ensure traceability and compliance. The QA team then reviews the batch records thoroughly, checking for consistency and completeness. They also review any deviations and investigations that might have occurred during manufacturing to understand any potential impact on quality. Based on this review, the final QA assessment is made. This assessment determines whether the batch can be released or if it needs to be rejected. This process is crucial because it ensures that only batches meeting our strict quality standards are released, safeguarding both our reputation and customer safety. It connects all departments in a coordinated effort to maintain product integrity from start to finish. Let's take a closer look at the key compliance documents that are essential for our quality management system. First, we have deviations and CAPA, which are critical for identifying issues and implementing corrective actions to prevent recurrence. Then, there are change control records, documenting any modifications made to processes or equipment to ensure everything stays in control. Calibration and maintenance status records are also vital, as they confirm that equipment is properly maintained and calibrated to meet quality standards. Moving to batch-specific documents, we have the Batch Manufacturing Record, or BMR, which details every step of the manufacturing process, ensuring traceability and consistency. Similarly, the Batch Packaging Record, or BPR, documents the packaging process for each batch. Equipment cleaning records and line clearance records are equally important. They verify that equipment and work areas are properly cleaned and cleared before production begins, reducing contamination risks. Now, shifting to quality-specific documents, analytical test reports provide results from various tests conducted to confirm product quality. The Certificate of Analysis, or COA, summarizes these results and confirms that each batch meets specifications. Environmental monitoring reports track the conditions of the manufacturing environment, ensuring it remains within acceptable limits. Lastly, if applicable, stability data offers insights into how the product maintains its quality over time. All these documents are interconnected and form the backbone of our compliance framework. They ensure transparency, traceability, and accountability, which are essential for passing audits and maintaining high standards across our operations. Now, let's move on to the quality review process. First, we ensure that all specifications are met, confirming that the product or process aligns with the defined standards. We also review any out-of-specification or out-of-trend investigations to address potential issues proactively. Verifying stability compliance is crucial to ensure the product remains effective and safe throughout its shelf life. During the review, we pay special attention to critical areas. For manufacturing compliance, we check that the process was followed exactly as specified in the Batch Manufacturing Record, or BMR. It's important to confirm the correct raw materials were used, as this directly impacts quality. Yield reconciliation helps us understand efficiency and consistency, while in-process control compliance ensures all critical parameters were maintained during production. Moving to documentation review, clarity and completeness are key. Entries need to be complete, legible, and properly verified with signatures. We also verify adherence to good documentation practices, or GDP, which helps maintain integrity and traceability. Lastly, we look out for any unauthorized corrections, as these can compromise data integrity. Overall, this thorough review process is essential to maintain high-quality standards and ensure compliance across all aspects of manufacturing and documentation. Let's talk about regulatory focus and why documentation integrity is so crucial for GMP compliance. Ensuring our records are accurate and complete is fundamental to maintaining quality and meeting regulatory standards. Now, some common GDP deficiencies we often encounter include missing signatures, which can undermine the accountability of a record. Overwriting entries is another issue. It raises questions about the authenticity of the data. Incomplete records can lead to gaps in traceability, and backdated entries are particularly problematic because they can distort the timeline of events. Moving on to what we need to focus on during batch review, it's essential to adhere to GDP principles. This means making accurate entries, no shortcuts or guesswork, and using permanent ink to prevent tampering. Every record should be signed and dated, clearly indicating who made the entry and when. We must avoid leaving any blank spaces, as these can be exploited or lead to missing information. Real-time documentation is key. Recording data immediately ensures accuracy and reliability. Also, controlled corrections are vital. If an error occurs, it must be corrected following approved procedures, not just erased or overwritten. All these points tie back to the overall goal: maintaining integrity in our documentation to ensure compliance, traceability, and ultimately, product quality. Let's now look at the regulatory expectations for data integrity and why they are so critical. First, it's important to understand the regulatory impact. Failures in data integrity can lead to serious consequences like warning letters, product recalls, or import alerts. These are not just formalities. They can significantly affect a company's reputation and compliance status. Next, consider the importance of data integrity in batch release processes. Reliable manufacturing and analytical data are essential to ensure product quality and safety. Good data practices also support audit readiness, making inspections smoother and more transparent. Plus, maintaining accurate records prevents any falsification or manipulation, which is crucial for regulatory compliance. Now, let's touch on the ALCOA Plus principles. These are the foundation for good data integrity practices. Data must be attributable, meaning we can trace it back to who created or modified it. It needs to be legible, so records are clear and understandable. Contemporaneous recording is essential. Data should be recorded at the time of the activity. Original data refers to the initial record, not copies or transcriptions. Accuracy is non-negotiable. Data must be correct. Completeness ensures no critical information is missing. Consistency means data is maintained uniformly over time. Enduring indicates data should be preserved securely over its required retention period. And finally, available data must be accessible for review and inspection when needed. By understanding and applying these principles, we reinforce the integrity of our data, supporting both compliance and high-quality product outcomes. Now, let's discuss the responsibilities of QA in ensuring investigations are thorough and scientifically sound. It's essential that every investigation we undertake is complete, justified, and based on solid scientific principles to maintain product quality and compliance. When it comes to out-of-specification or out-of-trend results, we need to conduct thorough investigations that include root cause analysis, impact assessment, and implementing corrective and preventive actions, commonly known as CAPA. A key part of this process is providing a scientific justification for disposition decisions, ensuring we make well-informed choices about product release or rejection. Handling deviations and OOS results also falls under QA oversight, whether they involve process deviations, equipment breakdowns, environmental excursions, or documentation errors. For each of these areas, our role is to oversee the investigation process, ensuring it's properly conducted and documented. This oversight helps us identify the root causes, evaluate their impact, and implement effective corrective actions. Ultimately, our goal is to uphold product integrity and patient safety by maintaining rigorous standards across all these investigative activities. Now, let's look at some of the key benefits of implementing electronic systems in our processes. First, we see a faster review process, which helps us get approvals more quickly and keeps our production moving efficiently. Improved traceability is another major advantage. It ensures that every step is documented, making audits and investigations much smoother. These systems also significantly reduce manual errors, which enhances overall data integrity and product quality. Moving on, electronic batch release systems streamline the approval process, allowing for quicker product release while maintaining compliance. Digital QA review systems facilitate real-time oversight, so issues can be identified and addressed promptly. Electronic batch records, or EBRs, serve as comprehensive digital documentation of each batch, supporting transparency and accuracy. Audit trails are a crucial feature. They provide a detailed log of all actions taken, which is essential for compliance and traceability. Electronic signatures replace handwritten signatures, adding security and ensuring that only authorized personnel approve critical steps. Workflow automation further enhances efficiency by automating routine tasks and approvals, reducing delays. Finally, real-time review and approval capabilities mean that decisions can be made promptly, keeping the production cycle agile and responsive. All of these benefits are closely tied to our regulatory requirements, such as 21 CFR Part 11 and EU GMP Annex 11, which set the standards for electronic records and signatures. Additionally, computer system validation, or CSV, is fundamental to ensure these electronic systems are reliable, secure, and compliant. It's about building trust in our digital systems so that they support, rather than hinder, our compliance and quality goals. Overall, embracing these electronic solutions allows us to be more efficient, compliant, and prepared for the future of pharmaceutical manufacturing. Our main goal here is to prevent the distribution of non-compliant products, ensuring that only products that meet all quality standards reach our customers. To achieve this, we have specific QA actions in place. When a potential issue is identified, the product is placed in quarantine or given a hold status, so it cannot be shipped until we complete our investigation. Next, we initiate a thorough investigation to determine the root cause of the problem. This is followed by a detailed risk assessment to evaluate the potential impact of the noncompliance. Based on these findings, we make a final disposition decision, whether to rework, reject, or accept the batch with conditions. Managing noncompliant batches is a critical part of our quality system. We need to understand why a batch was rejected, which could be due to failed specifications, critical deviations from our standards, or concerns about data integrity. Other reasons include contamination issues or incomplete documentation, all of which are serious indicators that the product did not meet our quality requirements. By systematically addressing these issues, we help maintain the integrity of our products and uphold our commitment to safety and quality at every step. Let's take a closer look at the industry needs. There's a clear demand for efficient, risk-based, and digital QA review systems. As industries evolve, manual and traditional methods just can't keep up with the pace or the complexity. Moving on to compliance challenges, we see several critical issues. Data integrity risks are a major concern, as any compromise can have serious repercussions. Incomplete documentation can hinder audits and regulatory reviews, while audit observations often highlight gaps in our processes. Many organizations still rely on legacy paper-based systems, which are not only slow but also prone to errors and difficult to manage. Now, focusing on challenges specific to batch release systems, we encounter operational hurdles. The volume of documentation is large, making it cumbersome to review everything thoroughly. Investigation closures tend to be delayed, which can impact overall timelines and compliance. Human review errors are another pain point, especially when handling multiple products simultaneously. This increases the risk of oversight. Lastly, coordination between departments can become complex and inefficient, leading to further delays and inconsistencies. All of these challenges underscore the need for smarter, more integrated approaches that can streamline processes, reduce risks, and ensure compliance across the board. This is exactly where digital and risk-based systems can make a real difference, helping us meet industry demands more effectively. Let's now look at some best practices for ensuring an effective QA review process. First, implementing SOP-driven review procedures is crucial. Having clear standard operating procedures helps standardize how reviews are conducted and ensures consistency across the board. Next, using checklist-based QA review systems can really streamline the process and make sure nothing gets overlooked. It's all about thoroughness and accuracy. Equally important is ensuring that reviewers are properly trained and qualified. This helps maintain high standards and minimizes errors. Maintaining strong good documentation practices, or GDP, is also essential to ensure traceability and compliance. Using electronic batch release systems can enhance efficiency and reduce manual errors, making the process smoother and more transparent. Conducting internal audits regularly keeps the review process on track and identifies areas for improvement before any external inspection. And finally, monitoring key performance indicators related to review timelines helps us stay on schedule and ensures that batches are released in a timely manner. The ultimate goal here is to ensure that our batch release processes are not only timely, but also compliant and inspection-ready. By following these best practices, we reinforce our overall commitment to quality and regulatory excellence. Let's wrap up with the conclusion. As we've seen, QA batch release is a vital GMP function that plays a key role in ensuring our products are safe, effective, and compliant with regulatory standards. It's not just about checking a box. It involves a thorough review of manufacturing, analytical, and investigation records to make sure everything is in order. Data integrity and proper documentation are at the heart of this process, because regulators are increasingly focused on the accuracy and reliability of our data. This is why maintaining high standards in record-keeping and data management is so critical. Additionally, electronic systems have really transformed how we manage batch release. They improve efficiency, enhance traceability, and help us stay compliant in a fast-paced manufacturing environment. And of course, strong oversight from the QA team, coupled with a mindset of continuous improvement, is essential for keeping our batch release processes effective and reliable. When we combine these elements, we build a robust system that supports quality and compliance at every step. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help with any questions or additional information you might need. You can contact us through the provided channels. And with that, I want to sincerely thank you all for your time and attention today. Your engagement is truly appreciated, and I hope you found the presentation valuable. Remember, we're committed to supporting your success beyond this session, so feel free to get in touch whenever needed. Thank you once again.